Welcome, everybody. This is the Waiting Room Podcast, and I am your host, Kyle Waite. And today we are going to talk about a few things. We are going to very obviously point out my brand new life decision wearing a mustache, asked for by all of one person, and that's my lovely partner, Kelsey. So, you guys might not love it, but it's here to stay for until I'm tired of it, and then I'll go back to having a clean little baby face for all of you. In addition to just pointing out the little caterpillar on my face, we're going to talk the naming, image, and likeness bill passing for college athletics. We are going to talk about the fact that the NFL has zero COVID opt-outs, and why I think that is. And we're going to talk a little bit about Trevor Bauer and his ongoing case with the young lady. Finally, we're going to just run down a little bit about my experience in Afghanistan, because today the United States pulled out of its last military base in Afghanistan. So without further ado, let's jump into it. As I said, naming, image, and likeness. For those that don't know what it means, it basically is just how we're phrasing anything to do with a college athlete. Now, I know some people aren't exactly a fan of college athletes getting paid. Oh, hey, their food's taken care of. They get a free ride to college. Look, I get it. I do. But here's the flip side to it. Realistically, you have the NCAA making a whole lot of money off these guys. It's been happening for years, for a long time. And it's not that I have an issue with that whole, system. It was just you had no ability for these guys to make money just off of themselves. This isn't the pay for play. This isn't a school saying, hey, we will pay you money. We will get your family jobs. We will do X, Y, and Z just so you can come here and play a sport for our school. I do still find issue with that. I do find an issue with coming in and saying, hey, we can offer you a whole bunch of stuff. And the reason for that is you have a lot of smaller universities that are trying to become prominent prominent in the athletic world. And it's going to be a whole hell of a lot harder if you have Alabama, Ohio State, USC, University of Texas. If you have all of these big schools that we watch every year and a lot of the big sports, just able to throw money at them. And that's the thing. It's not all college athletics make money. To be honest, very few of them do. A lot of the big schools operate in the black solely off of their giant football programs. Booster money. That's how they're operating in the black. So this is a little different. This allows college athletes to go out and go to their local car dealership. I mean, it's not just local car dealership, but they're allowed to sign sponsorship deals. As of 1 July, so yesterday, athletes were allowed to sign deals with companies. You had guys from, of course, Alabama sign with a gaming company. You had two young ladies from the Fresno State University. Their women's basketball program signed deals with Boost Mobile. I think it's great. I mean, if you Google it, name, image, and likeness sponsorship deals, you'll find a whole bunch of them. I'm sure the money in those will continue to grow, but everybody's kind of getting in on it, including the schools. The schools are also partnering with branding and consultation companies. And I'm not incredibly shocked about this. You had coaches who said, I will never coach again if we begin to pay players. And, maybe they were going to frame that as, oh, I just don't want these schools paying the players. Completely understand, really do. But of course, this bill passes nationally. right before 12 states were about to make it a thing. So it's just giving people that live or play sports in those other 38 states, probably 37. I don't believe the University of Alaska has a whole bunch of sports going on. Or if there's a University of Alaska, I'm just going to assume there is. But what I will say is that it's doing something for athletes, basically pushed on the fact that it was going to happen whether or not the NCAA liked it or not. So instead of being the bad guy, they come out and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And of course, people will grumble and still, oh, yeah, they're just flip-flopping. Yeah, that's what people do. It's what the coaches did. The coaches immediately came out. Any coach that said a bad word about players getting paid immediately came out and said, hey, this is great. We're in the right step. The NCAA president, Mark Emmert, came out and said, this is a good step for athletes. I mean, yeah, I agree it is. It's just, it is a little disingenuous when you had them fighting for years and years and years saying this could create a problem. It creates a problem because people are worried about their money. And as the president of the NCAA, as coaches, as athletic directors, yeah, your job is to make sure that your programs win and that they make money. Let's just be honest about it for a second. So with that, there are a few rules that go in with it. If there's no state laws for those places, that's what this bill was for. If there's no state laws, players can still do this. They just have to follow rules, which is why these schools are also responsible still. And I know that schools don't want to be, which is why one of the additional rules is the players need to report into their schools what they are doing to ensure that they follow the name, image, and likeness bill's rules. Again, we're doing this because they want to make sure that their money is not going to be hurt. And honestly, that's where the NCAA was headed, is they were headed for a legal battle where they're ultimately going to lose because more and more states, kind of like marijuana, are just saying, hey, you know what? It's okay. I mean, it's a little harder to argue that students that play a sport and earn millions and millions of dollars for their school don't deserve to, in turn, be able to make their own money. Again, not saying that the school should pay them. I'm saying that they should have the ability to go out and make their own money. Again, they are the ones playing. Some of these guys, most of them, maybe 1% of these players are going to see a professional league. A lot of these guys are at their peak ability to make money in that fashion. A lot of these guys will go on to normal careers. I just don't see the issue with it as of today. What I do see the issue is Reggie Bush. I do not tie him into this. I believe Reggie Bush is someone who came out and did something wrong. For those that don't know, Reggie Bush had most of his records. He had his Heisman taken away. USC, the University of Southern California, ended up vacating wins and championships, all because Reggie Bush received roughly $300,000 in impermissible benefits. There's a reason I don't feel bad for him, is because he did this knowingly, knowing that, hey, if I get caught, I'm going to get in trouble for it. Okay, Reggie Bush, I can't feel bad for you. You literally did like the one thing that I kind of have a problem with, which is you went to a school based on the fact that they will give you and your family members some sort of benefits. I know they got his mom a job. I know they got him a car. Again, I don't see a huge issue with some of the things that go on. If Reggie Bush had been able to make money from his name, image, and likeness, maybe he would not have gone that route. However, I guarantee, just like the SEC players that got caught doing it in 2011, the Miami Hurricane players that also got caught in 2011, I guarantee all of those people still probably would have done it. Again, cash is king. People want to make money. And if they're making money, they want to make more money. So it's kind of hard to feel bad for Reggie Bush, who, Hey, Reggie Bush, you had a good career. You were fun to watch. I loved watching Reggie Bush play when I was in high school. I loved watching. It was fun. It was entertaining. However, when you say, "Oh, hey, I also got paid to come here," was he going to USC? Probably. USC was the hot team at that time. They were what Alabama is now, what Clemson is now, what Ohio State, is now. They were the hot school. I understand that, but he also played alongside a whole bunch of other guys that may have gotten paid under the table. Let's be honest. A lot of guys get paid under the table. I'm not saying that's going to go away, but the things where you have SMU also having the death penalty on their program because they got caught on a large scale paying players. Again, we just want to eliminate it and make it a little fair. I understand that not everything's fair. I understand that this will get exploited. It will. I'm not naive to the fact that it will be. It's just I like seeing that players now have an ability to go out and make their own money. The NCAA, realistically, can go out and still profit off of these young men and women. But now it's not just USC. It's not Alabama. It's not Clemson. It's not Duke. Now you're getting smaller schools like Cleveland State, for instance. You're going to get schools, in the Ivy Leagues that are able to make money just, off their ability to play a sport. Again, I see nothing wrong with that. The final thing I'll say on Reggie Bush, the one guy really backing him here is Johnny Football. And I'm going to tell you right now that the last guy you want backing you on anything, you don't want him as your alibi if they're asking you've committed a crime. You don't want him vouching for you to get into a club. And you definitely don't want him being like, oh, yeah, give Reggie his Heisman back. It's just it's not the representation that you want. It's not the representation I'd want. That's just me. If you want representation, maybe find a credible source. I lied. This is actually my final thing. Reggie Bush in 2020, just one whole year ago, said that if players are paid, it will create a problem for some of them. It sounds a whole lot like what a lot of people do. They follow the money. 2020, this was not something that we were sure happening. We are still possibly in the realm of schools or the NCAA paying players. So again, Reggie Bush, you're kind of going with where the money's at. You're saying, hey, now it's the popular thing to do. I'm going to try to cash in and get those. Hey, I can say I was a Heisman winner back. I mean, Reggie Bush can always say he's a Heisman winner. It's just not going to be recorded in the books. I had somebody suggest, put him back in the books, put USC back in the books, put any cheater back in the books, and just put an asterisk next to him. Yeah, I mean, do that or just keep him out. I don't have a preference on it. But realistically, Reggie Bush following the money, I just no. Don't give him his Heisman back. Don't put him back in the record books. Sorry, bud. You messed up in a time you shouldn't have. But the players now able to profit from what you were doing. Probably thank you a little bit. Moving to professional sports. Today at I believe it was 4:00 Eastern time, so 3:00 in the Central Time Zone, and keep working it back to your own time zone from where you're watching. They had the COVID deadline for NFL players. Now there was a few guys bandied about, hey, maybe they'll do it. Aaron Rodgers maybe takes the nuclear option and says, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do a COVID opt-out. I won't lose any money. I believe he stands to lose something like $18 million if he sits out games and practices and everything. But deadline came and went, and as of right before the show started, they had 0 opt-outs. The reason I find this important is kind of going back to the last topic. It's follow the money. In 2020, we had 70 opt-outs. Hey, we are going to pay you I believe it was $350,000, and your contractor will just toll or carry over to the next year. We had 70 players do that. Go figure. Hey, we'll pay you to. It probably worked out still. Maybe not on the level as you would have if you were stuck with your team the whole time. But you had 70 players opt out and say, hey, I'm just going to take my $350,000 and I'll see you next year. Again, turn around to this year where the exception was, hey, if you have some major health problems, you have guys like Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens, who has diabetes, could be potentially a health risk for COVID. Those type of guys with serious medical issues could potentially opt out and still get paid. That was the big caveat, though, is unless you have a serious medical issue, there you don't get any money. Sorry, guys. So I am personally not shocked. Yesterday, when it was getting brought up about Aaron Rodgers potentially missing, I was like, hey, somebody brought up, hey, you could potentially save yourself a whole bunch of money. I just don't see Aaron Rodgers sitting out, because the other side to this is last year, if a player decided they wanted to come back, they could come back. No harm, no foul. Hey, you're going to get a prorated portion of what you were making, but essentially you can come back whenever you want. This year's not the same. This year they said, hey, if you opt out as of July 2nd at 4 o'clock Eastern time, you will not be playing the 2021 season. So again, with the, not to beat a dead horse, but with not paying them, why is a guy going to say, I'm going to opt out? They don't have a choice. At that point, it's, hey, you're either going to get paid to do this or you're not. So again, I understand people still feel skeptical about it. For all of you that know me, which is almost everybody, yeah, I still haven't gotten vaccine. Military still hasn't made it a requirement. And you know what? I see no issue with it. I see no issue with people who still are like, hey, you know what? I'm a little bit skeptical about it. Or, hey, I just want to wait because I want to wait. As you all know, I'm just waiting because the military says I have that option. And they've never given me that option. Sounds silly, but for the last 14 years and for the next, at the very least, 6, the military doesn't give me a whole lot of choices. So when they say, hey, you can do this, yeah, I'm going to. But I'll preach it like I always do with anything, not just COVID, but with anything. Educate yourself. I still hear to this day, I still hear a lot of misinformation pushed out about vaccines. I hear it pushed out about, a whole lot of shit. But if you're going to have a stance on something, all I'm saying is educate yourself. You have 65% of NFL players have at least one dose of the vaccine. So you have 35% of NFL players still like, I'm not sure, guys. But of course, none of them want to miss money. Don't blame them. I wouldn't want to miss, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of dollars either. I'll blame them at all. Make your money, take your money. It all makes sense. But again, you still have people that are skeptical, and all I preach is just educate yourself. You don't really have to explain yourself to anybody. That's the other fun part about this country. You don't have to explain yourself. Hey, did you do this? No. Why? Personal decision. If you get in a fight, you don't have to get in a fight. I literally had a conversation with somebody today where I could have seen it going completely south. And it was a fairly sensitive topic. But I gauged the conversation, let that person know that, hey, look, you and I just share different views. We just do. We chuckled about it for a few minutes, and then we kept it pushing for the day. But you don't owe anybody explanations. You can just say, hey, I believe how I believe. It is my personal decision, and move on with your day. You don't have to make it a big thing. I'm not just talking COVID. I'm talking about with anything you disagree about. Not that I plan to do this today, but it seems accurate, given the topic. COVID's made us all assholes. For those of you that weren't assholes before COVID, COVID just made you all assholes. I'm not excluded from this, but, again, I was kind of a pain in the butt before that. But COVID just seems to have made it a little bit worse, where we can't be tolerant of each other. We disagree about things, and I don't get it. Start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's what I keep telling people. That's what I keep, trying to preach to people that are in my, that are my subordinates, or hey, on my same level. Hey, be comfortable being uncomfortable. You can disagree with people. You don't have to hate them. We're all human beings. We should all stop fighting with each other. Well, it's legitimate. You see somebody fighting with their wife, and they strike her, or vice versa. You see the wife strike the husband, maybe step in, intervene. That's not okay. But, see your kid smoking crack, maybe stop that. I don't know, unless you support that lifestyle. Me personally, not so much. But all I'm saying is if you disagree with somebody, just say you disagree. You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to give them an explanation. Say, hey, you know what? Like, I appreciate your perspective. Personally, I disagree. That's it. Move on. In the sake of moving on, we're going to move on to my least favorite subject of the day. We're going to tag this with the why Kyle's mad. So I'd say roughly a week ago, the starting pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Trevor Bauer, really good pitcher. Another guy who was kind of caught up with hey, is he using sticky stuff to throw a ball that spins a little more, has a little more movement? But this got a little more serious. He got accused of assault. He got accused of choking his sexual partner unconscious, and she claimed to have bruises. Now, his team came out and said, you know what? We have proof. This was consensual. She asked for it. And it sits wrong with me. Something about it sits wrong with me. And this is one of those things where I will politely say I'm okay being wrong, because I would rather say, hey, I stood up for the victim than, like I was wrong about this pitcher. I'm not going to say anything bad about Trevor Bauer. He may have done nothing wrong. It's a lifestyle. People enjoy different things. Some people enjoy pain. Some people enjoy. Internet's a big place. You'll find people enjoy a whole lot of stuff that you may not, and it's a little weird to hear sometimes. But when it becomes an official police report, and when you make $100 million, of course, it's going to become national news. The part of this that has me a little upset is that today Major League Baseball came out and said, hey, we're not suspending you. We are going to put you on 7 days of administrative leave. The reason that's important is yesterday the Dodgers came out themselves and said, hey, we are he's going to pitch Sunday. And I was like, well, isn't he kind of in the middle of an investigation where he may have abused a woman? May have. We do not know. But he may have abused a woman. Now, just for the sake of being, I don't know, politically correct is what we'll call it. I'll say this, is that when you have something like that, and we should have all learned from the Baltimore Ravens with Ray Rice, if you have something like that, you might need to just throw out a little punishment. Say, hey, we need you to stay away from the team. Or, that wasn't during the season. But again, if it's during the season, maybe, hey, step away from the team. We need to keep you out of the spotlight, at least for a little bit. And again, I know we all follow the money. I know that's important. I know that the Dodgers need to win games. They're in a competitive division. I completely understand it. You have a job. But this is a case where you should sit back and say, hey, we have a guy who may or may not have done something wrong. Now, in your heart, you might believe, hey, that guy, I could never see him doing something like that. He would never hurt a woman. Isn't that what we all believe about our friends, family, people we look up to in the media. I mean, hopefully that's not where you're looking to for your role models, but if it is, but that's what you always say. You always say, they never do that, never do it, and then you find out they did. That's how it works, and so it pissed me off a little bit yesterday when I found out, the Dodgers, hey, we're going to do nothing. Why are you going to do nothing? No, we're going to follow the lead of the Major League Baseball, their office. It's a cop-out. That's nothing more than a cop-out, and it bothers me because it says that we don't care. And I'm going to be honest, I've come to terms with sports not pretending to care a whole lot, but I mean, make it look good. End of the day, if you're going to do something wrong, at least try to make it look good. They said, you can't, put lipstick on a pig. I don't know. It's kind of what you need to do in the situation. Hey, this looks bad. Hey, we support you, bud. But in the public spotlight, we need to make it look like we're doing something. And for Dave Roberts to come out and say, we're going to wait for Major League Baseball to do something before we do, it speaks to some of the issues with professional sports. It speaks to the issues with our society as a whole, that sports, athletes, themselves, celebrities, political figures, they somehow are above the law. They're above what would normally happen, because honestly, if you get accused of sexually assaulting somebody at your job, you're probably suspended until they find out whether or not you did something right or wrong. That's just a simple fact of it. So for it to take the governing body of baseball to say, hey, just take a seat for 7 days until we figure it out, and maybe it gets extended, maybe the investigation goes long. But it's a pretty poor look on the Dodgers. It's a poor look on Dave Roberts as an individual. And I'll be honest, I'd look for any reason to defend Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts helped in, the Red Sox 86-year World Series drought. I'd look for any reason to defend him. I just can't. I can't defend saying I will do nothing. I will wait to be told what to do because it's a coward's way out. It really is. It's the coward's answer. It says, I am so stoneless that I would rather not upset my players, that I won't do anything. I'll let baseball do it. Again, I get it. We all have jobs to do. Doesn't want to lose the clubhouse. Do something. Make it look good. That's all I ask. I don't think I'm going to get that most of the time. And I was happy. Realistically, I was happy when I saw, hey, 7 days of administrative leave. 7 days to figure it out. It says they are trying. I can live with that. I don't care if the Dodgers can. Enough on that. My final topic for today. Again, I'm not sure how some people feel about it. For me personally, it's a day of celebration. The United States military has left their final military base at Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan. The reason I think this is important is I don't believe we belong there, and it's not for the gas. It's simply I don't think we're wanted. We're wanted by their country's government, but at what cost? Since 2001, we've lost 2,312 members of the United States military. Some other, civilian contractors. We've lost people to a war that, regardless of how you look at it, we've lost lives. Now, I went to Afghanistan 2015, 2016. I was at Bagram Airfield. I left about a month before some Air Force personnel were blown up. So it's a little more personal for me. I mean, it's one of those things where when I Bagram was basically a city. It was surrounded by some beautiful mountains, which sounds weird. Afghanistan, you think desert, you think this really flat, kind of terrible terrain. The surrounding area that wasn't, just dirt for Bagram Airfield was beautiful. In the winter, the mountains had snow on them, got a little chilly out. I mean, it wasn't the greatest conditions, but it was a beautiful place. But you always had that specter of, hey, is today going to be the day that I get attacked? And unfortunately, while I was there, it was kept to a minimum. But I find a little peace knowing that, hey, at least for now, I'm not saying that we're not going back. I'm not saying that things can't change. But for now, to pull out, to me, it's a small victory. It's a small victory. Again, it may end up just like Iraq. I've accepted that. I accepted that when we pulled out of Iraq. Ironically, I was there in 2010, 2011 when we were pulling out of Iraq. And at that time, I thought we shouldn't leave. I was, idealistic, and I worried about the people of Iraq, and I was like, well, we're going to end up back here. And we did. We ended up back in Iraq, and we ended up, needing to help, their government. We need to help their people. And you guys know I love helping people. I do. It's very important to me. And as much as I'd love to keep helping the Afghan government, essentially we were their government. We were their military. And it's evidenced by our withdrawal from Afghanistan. The Taliban now occupies about 25% of or at least controls about 25% of the districts in Afghanistan. I don't think it's been a full year since we started drawing down, but the Taliban's taking control that much. It tells me that Afghanistan was a little less concerned with them doing the job. They were happy to sacrifice American lives. They were happy to sacrifice our time, because that's important. The last few years, it's kind of just been a holding pattern. But the Taliban still attacked. Lives have still been lost. But it was our time to go. And I'm not saying we can't return. I'm not saying that if we returned, I'd be the most upset guy in the world. I mean, if it really takes a turn for the worst, yeah, I'd be almost okay with us going back. But pulling out of a place where we're not wanted, and that's most of the terrorist organizations' problems with us being there. They don't want us there. And not that I want Afghanistan to fall into chaos and be a failed state. It's just my priorities lie with the Americans. They do. They lie with my country. I want everybody to live and thrive and succeed. But in the case of war, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit harder to explain to people that, I'm going to be okay sitting here and just, waiting. Because while I was there were attacks. There were. And, it was one of those things, okay, I signed up for this. I signed up for it. You can't really complain about something you signed up for. I mean, you can, but I mean, when the military says, hey, you're signing up for this, or in my case, in Afghanistan, I was a civilian contractor in Afghanistan. I signed up for it. They paid me pretty darn well. So I really have nothing to complain about there. But, I don't know. I see it as a day that we should celebrate. I'm not giving political figures credit for this because they deserve nothing. They don't. To be fair, we were supposed to be pulling out this year regardless, unless we signed another, agreement with Afghanistan that, hey, we're going to stay a little bit longer. We're supposed to leave this year anyway. But the fact that we're supposed to be out by September 11th, and the only troops that we now have in Afghanistan are protecting the U.S. Embassy. So we have 650 U.S. troops at the U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan. And honestly, they're not sure what they're going to do with them, whether or not they're going to pull them out fully. Um, who knows? Maybe the agreement with the Taliban is, hey, we're going to keep this here to just kind of provide protection. Um, I don't know if that's a great idea. I don't know. I can honestly tell you guys I have no clue with what's going on, and I probably couldn't tell you if I did. But I think today's a celebratory day for us, maybe not for Afghanistan. People much smarter than me predict that it's going to be about 6 months to 2 years before the Taliban has full control of Afghanistan, and that sucks. You know, I'm sure it just what you guys watch on the news. It's not super great. They're not super great, but they want us out of their country, and at the sake of saying I care about every one of my fellow men. Yeah, I'd rather keep Americans alive. So I'm glad we're mostly gone. With that, I'd like to. Sorry, guys. So today, it's a little bit harder than I thought it'd be. Oof. So today I found out maybe not one of my closest friends, but definitely somebody I'd call a friend. I found out one of my friends died a few weeks ago. Now it was odd because at the time, I mean, up until now, I've been kind of rehearsing what I'd say about it, just because when I found out about it today, and it brought me to yesterday. Yesterday, I left. I got off duty. As you guys know, again, I'm on military duty. So got off duty, meant to go pick up food from our base exchange, where we can get food and alcohol and stuff to shave our faces and whatnot. Basically, our little general store for military. But I was tired. I got maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep before work. So when I got off, I came back to my room, took my military uniform off, and fell asleep. I fell asleep until I woke up to watch a basketball game. Woke up because of COVID. We were still operating under funny hours. And, I woke up and I was like, man, I didn't get to go see my friend and give her a hug. Nice old lady. I met her a few years ago. Every time I come up here, because I fly up to Minnesota for military duty. I live down in San Antonio, but I am part of a military unit in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I fly up here, and any time that I come up here, she requests that I go in there, give her a hug, and will definitely give me crap if I don't. I don't know how she did, but she'd always find out, like, hey, I heard you were up here for like a day or two and you didn't come and give me a hug. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I didn't. And I give her a bigger hug to try and make up for it. And so yesterday when I woke up and said, shit, I didn't give her a hug. And so the plan today was, go buy a Red Bull and go find her and give her, the biggest hug I could, because I'll be gone for a while again. And I won't be able to give her those hugs. And so talking about things we're worried about health wise, and a friend had mentioned that she had passed, and it took me off guard just because during COVID I've done a little bit better job of reaching out to people, of talking to them, of just seeing where people are at. I have friends and family scattered across the world. Friends in Italy, family in France, all over the country. Again, I live in Texas. Most of my family lives in California. I have all of my buddies up here in Minnesota. I have friends back in Arizona. I needed to do better, and so I chose to start doing better. And so those little things like reaching out to friends, going to the base exchange, even though it was out of the way, I had no 2 months ago, last time I was on military duty, the reason that I was, had a little beard for a little while. I made sure, hey, I want to say goodbye to you. I won't see you for a few months. And I did. She came out from behind the counter. She stopped working. It's in the middle of her job. She stopped working. She said, excuse me, came around the counter and, gave me a huge hug and discussed her, her little personal problems. I told her, it's like, I hope things get better for you. That's what I want to tell you guys. It's kind of the same thing I try to tell you guys every time. It's being kind, but it's, reach out to those people. Even it's just a, hey, what's up? And, you might not always get a response. People don't always respond to, hey, what's up? But reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, reach out to those people you don't talk to that much anymore. Do those type of things, because the fortunate thing for the last few people I've lost is I've had those moments. I got to hug Jan before she passed. I got to see my grandfather before he passed, and I hadn't seen him in probably 7-8 years. But I was lucky enough to reach out. I took military duty to the state of Ohio, which Ohio is just as boring as it sounds. But I took that duty specifically to go see my grandfather and my uncle and my cousins. One of the cousins I had never met before. But I took that for them, thankfully, due to COVID, kind of making life a little more difficult for everybody. Reach out to those people. I'm really grateful the last few times I've lost people. It's been, I can say I have positive memory of those people. And so that's just what I want to encourage you guys to do. Reach out to those people. Tell them you love them. Don't have to do that. Don't have to be so corny. Don't have to be sappy. Don't have to be loving. You just say hi. Say hi to them. You never know. As I always tell you guys, keep being kind to each other. Keep trying. If you're not kind to each other, just try. It's easier. It really is. It's a whole lot easier to be kind to people. You're happier. Let's keep trying for each other, guys. It's Friday, guys. That's it. As always, Taj TV. Taj TV. He has a show tonight. Still don't know if I'm going to have a small guest appearance on it. But Taj TV, TAIGH TV. Like, subscribe. He's on YouTube as well. It doesn't cost you a whole lot. A couple minutes of time. Half of you guys are on Facebook or YouTube anyway. Go find him. Go subscribe. We like doing what we're doing. Go take a look at these guys. Taj TV. Marcus over at Truth Valley Church. I'll tell you guys. Keep telling you guys. He does great things. You don't have to believe in religion to listen to Marcus talk. He's an uplifting guy. I'm happy to know him. I really am. That's why I keep promoting him. And finally, Jason over at the Arizona Flag Company. He does great work. He keeps doing great work. I appreciate all the posts he's been doing recently. Again, he will give you 10% off for mentioning the podcast. He's a great dude, goofy dude. If none of you watched it, go back and watch the pod with us about why he got started. Again, I love these guys. I want to keep promoting them. So again, go check them out. They're all on Facebook. Some of them are on YouTube, Instagram. Go check them out. Finally, again, if you're watching this, you probably already liked the page. You've probably already subscribed. Go to YouTube. Again, it takes a minute. Waiting room podcast. Just go give a little subscribe. Yeah. I like doing this. I like talking. I like giving my opinions on stuff. I like talking to you guys more. I hope this becomes more of an interactive thing the longer I do this. With that being said, if you want to interact on the show, if you want to share a story on the show, if you want to tell me I look like I smell funny, Kyle the Wait at Gmail, KYLETHEWAIT at gmail.com. Let me hear from you. Like, subscribe, share. I appreciate you guys. As always, keep trying for each other. That's all I ask. It's not a whole lot. Till next